Hello everyone and welcome back to Python programming. In our previous videos we learned about data types, user inputs, and conditional statements, and in today's video we're going to be learning about loops, which is another important factor of Python. Now first we need to learn what a loop is. Loops allow us to repeat a block of code or a piece of program multiple times without rewriting it line by line. Basically what this means is we want to execute a specific line of code. Say we want to print out a specific keyword, perform a specific mathematical operation, or we want to create a counter for specific numbers, and we don't want to write the code line by line because it takes a longer time. We could just use the loop command to help us finish that code in a very short amount of time. Now there are specific types of loop. Usually we follow two types of loop known as the conditional controlled and the counter controlled. The conditional control loops are also known as the for loop, and the counter control loops are also known as the while loop, since they use the keywords for and while. So if we want to understand both about these, we need to first look into a for loop. So let's go back to a scenario where we want to count the word we want to print the word hello 5 times. Usually what we would do is we would put in the print command and we would type in a specific keyword and it'll print out the specific keyword. Let's say we want to type hello world 5 times. Now if I put this print command here and run the program, you'll see that it only printed it out one time, meaning if I want to print out this text 5 times, I would have to specifically type these line by line 5 times, or I could use a loop. Now we're going to use this scenario in the case of a for loop. First thing we have to do for a for loop is we need to put in the keyword for. Then we need to interpret a variable to count as the range. So we need to use a variable to count how many times it will be printed as it is imported as a variable in Python. Usually we use the letters I, J, K, anything like that. Usually the letter I is used in terms of a range to define it more easily, so we're going to do that. And we need to define it in a range, which we need the command in and range for. Once we put in the range, we could put in a bracket, and let's say we want to print it out 5 times. So we're going to put 1, 5. Basically the 1 means that the code that we're going to enter is going to be printed once per line, and 5 refers to the how many number of lines we're going to print it, which is 5. So then we put a colon here and we go to the next line and we want to put in our print hello world command. And now you see if I run this program, you'll see that it printed out the word 4 times. Basically the reason it printed out 4 times is because Python is case sensitive and the range is actually deficited by 1, meaning you need to increase it by 1. It's just a standard deviation held by Python. Usually in other programs like Java or CSS, this type of issues don't bother you. So if you put in 6, you'll see that it actually printed out the word hello world 5 times. Now let's say you want to count a specific number. Let's say we want to count from 1 to 100 using a for loop. So let's put in the number 101 because you have seen that it is deviated by 1, and instead of hello world, it'll print out the number in which we have to put in the variable which is assigned here, which is I. Now if we run the program, you'll see that it has printed out every number from 1 all the way through 100 using just a for loop, meaning we've saved countless amount of times using just this one statement. Now that's basically all there is about a for loop. It is usually easier to use if we want to define it within a range, and however there are a few limitations of the for loop. Like there's a limitation of how many numbers you can include in the range, how many times you could print out a specific program. So there is a small limitation, but the latter gets the benefit of the doubt. The for loop is really easy to use and makes our job as programmers really easy. Now another loop which has fewer limitations is known as the conditional control loop or the while loop. Now the counter control loop, meaning the while loop will repeat a code as long as the counter statement is true. Basically what it means is we'll assign it to a specific condition, and as long as the condition is true, it'll continue the counter, and once it recognizes the condition as false, say we're going from 1 to 5 and it goes to the 6th number and it'll see that the statement is not true, it'll end the execution of the code right then and there. So what we need to do is first we need to enter a variable known as count. Usually it is used as a count to better define the counter nature, and we're going to enter it as 1. Now we're going to go down and enter our while statement, followed by our variable which is count, and we're going to say that the condition is that the count is less than or equal to 5. So this less than or equal to symbol is referred by this, the less than symbol and then the equal symbol, and we're going to put in 5 and then a colon to define an indentation. Now we are going to print count. However, count is not going to increase unless we add a statement to increase the count. Meaning, if we put in count as plus equal to 1, now every time it'll go from 1 plus 1, which is 2, and then it'll go to 2 plus 1, which is 3, then it'll go from 3 plus 1 to 4, and so far you'll see that the count is less than or equal to 5. Then it'll go from 4 plus 1 to 5, and it'll see that it is equal to 5, not less than 5. However, when it goes from 5 plus 1 equals 6, it'll see that the count is not true because 6 is greater than 5. It'll stop and running the code then and there. So if we run the code, we'll see that it did exactly that. It printed out 1, which is 0 plus 1, or it has been defined by us, 2, which is 1 plus 1, 3, which is 2 plus 1, 4, which is 3 plus 1, and 5, which is 4 plus 1. And it didn't print the 6th line because 5 plus 1, 6 does not follow the statement that we've provided here. The condition that the number has to be less than or equal to 5, meaning the counter stopped as soon as it hit the range. Now let's say we want to create a counter with a prompt. Let's say we want to ask the user how many times they want to print a specific code. Let's say that it'll print out the word welcome, and we want to ask our user how many times they want to print it out. So let's say we're going to define a variable as time equal to integer, and we will ask for an input prompt from the user. How many times would you repeat the code? And then we'll go over to the next line and we'll define a for loop using for I in range time, and add in a colon, and it'll print out a welcome message. Now let's say that our user enters the number 3. You'll see that it printed out the program 3. So you'll see that even though we put in 3, it actually printed out 3 and did not deviate 1. This is because we didn't define the statement as 1 deficiated. Basically, the 1 comma variable actually defines the code as deviated as 1. Meaning, if you want to get a print and count of exact how many times you want it to print out, do not put the 1 comma in the range. So similarly, if you put in the 1 comma in the range, you'll see that it only printed out twice if we put in 3. And if we put in it, let's say 2, you'll see that it prints out the code. Let's put in the variable 3. You'll see that it only printed out once. Basically, this first number here refers to how many times it'll be deviated by, not exactly how many times it'll print it per line. And that's basically what there is about loops. There are a ton of other examples that you could use. You could use it to print, say, a staircase. Let's say we want to, let's say I'll show the staircase thing. Now the staircase code is a little bit different than the other loops that we've used so far. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's say we're going to put in row as how many rows of stair we want to create, and we'll take it as a prompt. Let's say integer input, and in the prompt we'll put how many rows. Now we're going to create a for loop for I in range 1 comma row plus row plus 1, and we'll put a colon, define an indentation, and we're going to put in print. Now let's say we want to create a staircase out of asterisks, so we're going to put in the asterisk symbol, and right next to it we're going to put multiplied by I. So basically what this code means is that how many rows we enter, it'll start from 1, it'll go to row plus 1, and basically what this means is it'll print the asterisks in each line as many times as I. So in the first line it'll print out 1 star, second line it'll print out 2 stars, kind of similar to that. It'll create a small staircase of as many rows as we enter here. So now let's say we're going to let's run the program and it'll ask for how many rows. Let's say we want to add a 10 row staircase, and it'll print out a staircase with 10 rows. You can see it right here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is how you could create a staircase. Usually sometimes we need to do this as a project or any Python project like that. You could also use other symbols. You could use the plus symbol to create a staircase, which may look a little obscure, but let's do it anyways. So we could use the plus symbol. Let's say we're going to create a 5K stairway. It created this. We could use any letter we want instead of the star. Let's say we want to create a pyramid of A's of up to 6 layers. You can see that it created it. So basically any variable, any letters, any symbols you can use to create a staircase using this simple code right here. Now basically that's all there is about loops. It was a relatively shorter video than the other ones, and because it's a relatively shorter concept to understand, a really easier concept to understand, basically that's all there is about loops. Now in a future video we're going to be learning about turtle graphics. We're going to be learning about mathematical functions within Python, but that's all there is today, I would like to say before wrapping up, and I will see you in a future video.